bad news. I knew it. I love when he does that.
Well, once you hit rock bottom, the only way to go is up. So good luck. Okay, good luck.
You say rock bottom, but like, it just seems like things keep getting worse. What is rock bottom? Who decides what's the bottom of all this? I mean, seriously, you go, okay, today is Friday, and I woke up in Cleveland, and I'm going, how much worse can it get?
Don't count me down, you piece of shit! Shut your mouth! Look at me, Tony! Look at me! I want you to fire me! You fucking mark! Fire me! Fire me! How you think they gonna feel when they introduce your boys as the new WWE Undisputed Tag Team Champions? I don't know, Ooze. They might be cheering. Yeah. They might be booing. Yeah. Little kids might be crying. Oh, yeah. We got grown men out there crying. Yeah. But they still might be hating on the Usos. Hating on us. Why? Because we went out there and did what we said we was going to do. Yeah.
Buffalo, all your babbling is interfering with my machine. So for the next few minutes, please just do me a favor and kindly shoot.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 314 of the Hoots podcast. It's Thursday, June 16, 2022. As I record this live in my good brother's studio in lovely Chicago, Illinois. Hope you guys are having a wonderful week so far. Lots to discuss this week, and we have a very extensive edition of the Good Brothers Q&A session. So excited to get to that in just a couple minutes. A couple of things I want to plug really quick as you're listening or watching this. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Type in the Hoots podcast in your YouTube search engine, and it'll direct you right there. You can subscribe to the podcast. You get free, all of our video versions and old interviews I did back in the day on the Pro Wrestling Experience show, and some guitar covers that I posted this week, which was pretty cool. And there's a lot of extra stuff on the YouTube page. We are 7 subscribers, by the way, away from getting to 200 on YouTube, which is pretty cool. I want to start revving up that YouTube page a little bit more. And I've been thinking about little things that maybe I can do to help expand and reach the volume and the I don't know what you call it, the spectrum of our YouTube channel. And I have an idea of maybe do some reaction videos or maybe do some more topic discussion stuff on here. I'm trying to think about a lot of different things we can do to expand the reach of our shows and stuff like that. And make sure to check us out on YouTube. As far as the audio content is concerned, which I prefer because nobody wants to see this mug, you could subscribe to the podcast anywhere you get it from. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher. I think we're on iHeart Radio too, if I'm not mistaken. So make sure to type in Who's Podcast. It comes to you free of charge every single Thursday. And, I want to thank everybody who gives this podcast a chance, and I really do appreciate the support. And for those who are listening or watching for the first time, I just want you to feel like I'll stay next to you in the back porch and we're sharing the shit about professional wrestling. That's the vibe that we like to offer here. But we also have some real life dialogue conversations that's not pertaining to professional wrestling as well. So you get a little bit of everything on here. And I guess just get this bad boy going here. I would like to say, since Brother Carter is on his summer hiatus, if you will, he wanted me to remind everybody that today, this week's episode, it will be honoring the 2-year anniversary of our flagship segment of the podcast, What the Hell is Wrong with AEW? And I think by looking at the title of this week's episode, I think you're going to be in for a good one today, because boy, do I have a lot to get off my chest. So, be on the lookout for that. Let's get to the questions. We had a potpourri of questions this week. Got from my guys Chris, Nate the Great, sent awesome questions. Mike at Main Event Swerve, and my guy Sam Piopo. By the way, happy belated birthday, good brother. Hope you're doing well. And I forgot to mention this on Twitter the other day, but I want to say congrats on you getting your new home. I saw that post on Facebook and stuff, and I thought that was pretty cool. So very happy for you, little bro. Hope you enjoy your birthday week, and you are the man. Yes, Philly is trash. All right, let's have some fun, shall we, ladies and gentlemen? Simpletons, charlatans, Nimrods, what are you use? Morose motherfuckers. Let's have some fun. All right, here we go. We're going to start off as we usually do with Chris Zaletta, XSeeds24X on the Twitter machine. He says, what up, Oos? Here's some questions for the Q&A this week. Have you watched any of the NBA Finals? That would be a flat-out no. I probably have seen highlights, and when I wake up, I usually have maybe like Get Up or First Take in the background just to clear my head and kind of catch up on what went on yesterday and stuff like that. So from what I've known, is that Steph Curry has had pretty good finals so far, and that Boston's down 3-2 in Game 6 is tonight as I'm recording this on Thursday. So who knows? By the time you guys may get this tomorrow or you're listening to the weekend, we may have a new NBA champion, or the Game 7 will probably be taking place on Sunday. Who knows? But, you know, for me, I expressed this before on the podcast that I've had Golden State fatigue, if you will. And I just wasn't interested in the finals this year, so no, I haven't watched it. Next question. What match are you looking forward to the most at Slammiversary? Great question. I'm very excited for this pay-per-view coming up on Sunday, 20th anniversary for Impact Wrestling, which is pretty cool. I think for me, it's probably the main event. You know, not only honoring the fact that it is 20 years of Impact, but I think Josh Alexander's been on such an amazing run as champion, and what he's been doing for the last year and a half in Impact is, I don't think gets enough attention or discussion as it should, in my opinion, for the quality of work that he's been doing. And Eric Young, for whatever reason, one thing I've noticed a lot with wrestling is not just about, you know, the philosophy of having scripts or no scripts or being overproduced or having it like AEW where it's a Wild Wild West and you do whatever the hell you want with no rhyme or reason or anybody question your decisions and there's no guy behind the scenes, you know what I mean? What I've really realized is that with performance is not necessarily all those extra minutia stuff that we talk about on Twitter and on these shows. I think a lot of us have to realize that certain talents just fit better in different environments. Not everybody is meant to work in one company. Some things don't work. It could be a mutual thing. It could be on the writer's end. It could be on the performer's end. I do believe in the notion that, you know, being in the proper setting and whatever floats your boat from your performance point of view, it doesn't matter where you are in a promotion because you know, a lot of people just go to the well like, oh, I can't believe WWE let this guy go. They let that girl go or whatever. And the truth of the matter is those performers just fit better in different environments. Like Eric Young. That's why I'm bringing this up. Like Eric Young is Impact Wrestling. He has been kind of glue guy and throughout the years when people have left and gone to different promotions over the years, he's always been there. And yeah, it didn't work out with him with Sanity, but you know, everybody just wants to make it out, oh, the big bad evil WWE, right? But I feel like Eric Young is an example of that, or guys like Steve Macklin and Deonna Purrazzo and Brian Myers, even though I don't care about him in Mid Cardona, those talents fit better in those type of settings than they do in WWE. It just is what it is. So I'm excited for that. I'm also excited for Moose and Sami Callihan. I'm not really a big fan of the macho, no DQ, bleeding type of stuff, but these two have had a rivalry with each other for a long while that I've been really looking forward to see come to a head here at this pay-per-view. And then the only other one that I was really looking forward to is Honor No More against the Impact Originals. So we had Honor No More. It's going to be a 10-man tag. All we know is that we have Motor City Machine Guns and Frankie Kazarian so far as the representation of that. So it'll be curious to see who else will be the final two partners on that tag team coming up on Sunday. So I'll get to like predictions and some of that stuff a little later on in the show. Anyways, favorite match from Dominion, Jay White against Okada. Even though Shingo and Taichi was a lot of fun as well, but I'll say Jay White Okada is my favorite match from Dominion. Did the right man walk out as IWGP champion at Dominion? That's not for me to say. I think it's subjective. I'm a fan of both Okada and Jay White. It was one of those matches where, to me, I would have been fine with either guy winning the match. Sometimes I get into these situations where you have a match on paper, and honestly, I don't give a rat's ass who takes the L or who wins or loses because I'm not really into that booking stuff. I don't think anybody's really grasped the concept of what that really is like until you actually do it. So when I see people, come with these tropes and these trends about these buzzwords about 50-50 booking and all this shit, you're not really paying attention as you'd like to think you are, because as a guy who actually covers the matches every single day of my fucking life, I could kind of, dispel some of the myths and narratives that are out there about that concept about who wins this much or that much and blah, 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 blah. I feel like this is the scenario where all of us just win as fans, and when you have those type of matches, I think those are pretty cool. Which IWGP title you prefer, current one or last one? Are you talking about the design or I think that's what you're talking about, right? I am a stickler for the old one. I don't have the issue with calling the title the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. I think that's fine. But I did like the design of the old one. And I would say, thank you, Kota Ibushi, for messing everything up here, because I don't think there's a reason why the Intercontinental Championship had to go away. I wasn't for that decision when that went down. I know that benefited Jay White for his heel persona and blah, 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 and Ibushi wanted to change things up. But obviously that's not working out, right? Anyways, let's move on. Next question for Chris. He says, who does Jay White face at Forbidden Door? I think you probably know better than I do, brother. At this point, I'm throwing my hands up in the air as far as this fucking pay-per-view is concerned, because this card is the drizzling shits. And I'll explain why a little bit later. That's why I put in the Okie Doke. I don't know, man. I honestly, this being upfront with you guys, like, I feel like it's probably going to be another favorite four-way on the show. Jay White, Hangman Page, Adam Cole, and Okada. And probably Hangman Page takes the pin. Who knows? And honestly, if they make that match, do you really care? I don't know. We'll have to see. Let's go to the next question, shall we? Beep, 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 beep. Let me find my questions here. Oh, there we go. Outside of the Rock Austin video package for Mania 17, whole different level. What's the next best video package that's been put together? Oh, that's a good one. I really like the placebo, the song they did for Undertaker and Shawn Michaels. I forget which particular WrestleMania it was. It's the song called Running Up That Hill. I think some of you guys may remember it, but I remember video package, very specifically that one, that was very, very good. The John Cena CM Punk video package before their match in Money in the Bank was fantastic. If I can think about WWE one specifically, I think, Cody and Dustin's video package for Double or Nothing, the first one was really good. I guess you can. It's hard. Obviously, it's going to be very hard to top that Rocket Austin one. I'll agree with that. I also love the. I think about this a lot because WrestleMania 22, I think, doesn't get enough flowers, in my opinion. And I think it's up there as far as one of the best WrestleManias of all time. I was a really big fan of the Triple H. No, my bad. Edge and Mick Foley video package for their match for the hardcore title, which I thought was fantastic. That was very good. Those are the ones that can come off the top of my head. Speaking of Shawn Michaels, here's the last question for Chris this week. I want to thank you for the questions. As always, my man, I appreciate it. He says, was NWO Shawn Michaels a missed opportunity? I say no, only due to the fact that the missed opportunity is the fact that, and I get it that Hogan got a crazy reception at WrestleMania 18 and all that, and well deserved and all that, but probably if we look back at it, and I really don't live with 2020 hindsight. We all can do that till the cows come home. But my thing is, I wouldn't have split up the NWO as early as WWF did at that time, for me. So it's not a missed opportunity that they could have done more with Shawn Michaels. What I think is a missed opportunity for him is either having the group still together at that time in 2002 when he came back, or another missed opportunity is when Shawn Michaels left, even if he wasn't able to wrestle, because I think he was out of contract for a certain time, if I'm not mistaken, after WrestleMania 14, it's him actually going to WCW and joining the Action Group as it was going on. So I think the only missed opportunity within this is the fact that they didn't have the full group together in WWE and adding Shawn Michaels to it. That would be my answers to that question. But that's a good one. I haven't thought about that in a while, so I appreciate that. All right. Let's get to the next question, shall we? Let's go to the good brother, Sam Piopo at Second City Sam. Here we go. How big of a loss is Sasha Banks in WWE if, in fact, she gets released? There's a saying that somebody said back in the day that's very true. The wheels keep spinning. And I'm going to leave it at that. She may feel like she's above WWE, and a malcontent will be a malcontent. But I want this to ring in people's heads today. $334 million quarter and $1.1 billion collectively last year in revenue. If you think Sasha Banks is at that level, I think you need to go see somebody. All right, next question. What would you like to see from Christian Cage as a sole competitor in AEW? Great question. I'd like to see him actually on TV more. I thought it was a good decision, and I guess it's one of the few positives you'll hear from me about AEW this week, is that I enjoyed seeing that turn on Jungle Douche. So I thought that was cool. As far as him as a singles competitor, I really don't see the need to see him win a world championship or anything like that. honestly, I don't know what else you can do with Christian once this feud with Jungle Boy is over. Like, I respect Christian as a performer, as a heel, and stuff like that. But there's nothing else on this roster that rings like I need to see Christian Cage in a feud with somebody. Like, Christian against Darby Allin does nothing for me. What? So Christian could have a standoff with Sting? We have Christian versus Sting. Like, that doesn't do anything for me. So for me, if anything, it'd be a good thing for this is have Jungle Boy win and get over in this feud with Christian Cage, which leads to Christian leaving AEW. That's what I would like to see. Have you checked out the USFL at all this season? If you have, what are your thoughts? I haven't yet, buddy. I've been so crammed with my schedule that I haven't been able to check it out. I think it's cool that we do have these extra leagues, and I know the XFL is going to relaunch again for the third time in 2023, but it's under the Rock's vision, so we'll see how that goes. I haven't yet, but I heard it's pretty cool, and I saw something on Twitter that Baron Corbin and Carmella, I guess, were at a game together, so that's pretty cool. Here's the next question. In light of the Vince McMahon news, if WWE were to be sold at some point, who would you like to see buy the company? Wow, that's a great question. There's a lot of discussion. I'm like the last person to answer as far as like business is concerned about like who's the right people or not to buy promotions and stuff. I could give a guess here and there. I think there is some money that can be had for NBC just outright buying the thing. They already have the launch of it on Peacock, so I think that would be a brand that NBC Universal would want to keep. I don't know if Fox wants to buy all of WWE. Fox is very strange. Like they'll approve TV 14 shows, but they have certain strict guidelines that you have to go through as far as WWE is concerned. I don't know if Fox would be the right company to buy it. I've heard Disney could be involved. We gotta see. I'm not really sure. Next question. I haven't watched a whole lot of NXT 2.0 since it was rebanded. Do you enjoy NXT as much as you once did before the changes were made? Good question. I'm gonna take a swig of water here. Sam, I'll tell you this. I still enjoy NXT, and I might get some flack for this, but you guys know me. I call a spade. I felt like, the NXT Black and Gold brand or ROH 2.0, whatever you want to call it, that era was not going to be sustainable for the long term. As much as we got bar burners and bangers and stuff like that on takeovers, was any star really created out of it? Do we really have people on Raw or SmackDown that became megastars by having these Ring of Honor style matches and shows during that Black and Gold brand? I mean, when I say star, do you think I'm not talking about stars that are over on Twitter and the dirt sheets? Because as we all know, and as we read every single day on wrestling Twitter, that stuff is fleeting, it's misleading, and they're not stars as you think a star is. Like, I didn't see anybody from that Black and Gold brand era that was ever going to reach a higher ceiling where guys like Randy Orton or Roman Reigns or John Cena were at. I didn't see it. I respect the in-ring work more than anybody. Trust me. I respect the charisma and attributes that guys like Adam Cole and Johnny Gargano and et cetera, brought to the brand. But we all knew that had a shelf life, right? It wasn't going to last forever. So I get it. There's people out there that just refuse to watch NXT 2.0 because, you know, we live in the hate watch era where if I don't get what I want, I'm not going to do this. Yet they still watch and pretend like they don't. Like, I know the whole drill. So I get it. But for me, I'm an advocate for the new change because there had to be more to NXT than, okay, here's our show. We got punk rock music, and basically we're having a Ring of Honor style show. It wasn't an alternative. It wasn't anything new. And when I see the new performance on the screen, like I think somebody like Cora Jade has a lot of potential for her. This ties into Sam's other question, like 5 NXT wrestlers that you think will become main roster stars. I'll add it to this little compound question here. Like for me, I look at people like Cora Jade. Just look at her. Look how her work. Look how she connects with the audience. I can see a lot with her having a really good run on Raw or SmackDown. Carmelo Hayes is a slam dunk, in my opinion, as far as a performer that's going to do a lot of good stuff in WWE. Braun Breaker, enough said there. You know, as I look at the rest of the roster, you know, I gotta give it up. Like the Toxic Attraction group, I think are really good, and a group I think would do really good on SmackDown. If they're, I know the SmackDown division is taking the hit with the depth because we got a Malcontent and Naomi who decided they wanted to walk out. So the cover is bare there. But I look at that, like Mandy Rose has really changed the trajectory of her career and how she carries her stuff. She's fantastic. She really is. You know, there's other guys in the roster like Nathan Frazier that I really like. I think Santos Escobar could be a star. You know, you don't really hear anything behind the scenes about him or anything like that, so that's good. Yeah, those probably are the ones off the top of my head that I can say. And of course, I'd probably add Solo Sikoa to the list as well. So those are the ones that I think could be stars on the future. And who knows, you know, maybe we'll see somebody like Roxanne Perez break out as her run starts to grow a little bit more. And how can I not enjoy NXT 2.0 without the best university on God's green earth? Chase you! Oh man, this is a great question here. When will the pain end for Chicago sports? Brother, I hear your voice saying this as I'm reading this question. Oh my god. As me and Sam and everybody in Chicago practically have our hands in our face in a total facepalm session here. I don't know, man. This is what I think the tide's turning, and the bottom falls out of everybody's legs. The Cubs are ass. My Sox are not doing much to write home about. The Bears are the Bears. The Hawks stink. They're a rudderless ship right now. I guess people are excited for the Bulls, but people can't decide whether they want the team to be competitive or trade people, and it's just this is a bad era for Chicago sports. And as I say that, when has there ever been a good era for Chicago sports? What the hell is going on out here? We got the one of the greatest markets in the United States, and our teams are perpetually fucking clown shows all around the city. Doesn't matter if you're in the south side, north side where I'm at, or the west side in Humboldt Park. It doesn't matter what part of the city is. This city sucks with sports. It's brutal. We are bad. I don't know when the pain stops. Like I'll see your pain about the Cubs. Like geez, can you guys go through a game without giving out 13 runs to the opposing team? God damn, how bad is your pitching staff? And then it's like useless for me to talk about the Chicago Bears, not just because they're a rudderless football team, but for the fact that the coverage of the team doesn't get me more excited or whatever about the football team. Our beat reporters suck. When you listen to the radio stations, it doesn't matter if it's 1,000 or the score. You're getting snarky conversations and nothing of nuance when it comes to the Chicago Bears. Everybody repeats each other, and it's just snarky tones. It's like, it's one thing to be like, yeah, we get it. The Bears don't deserve the benefit of the doubt or whatever, but like, goddamn, can I try to get some substance of a conversation about where the team's going instead of snickering and still acting like as if Brian Pace and Matt Nagy are still here? Newsflash, Sylvie, Waddle, etc., they're gone. They're not there anymore. But no, we got to drop all that bad weight and all that melodrama stuff onto Ryan Poles and Matt Eberflus, even though they didn't deserve that. So it's just, it's like a never-ending cycle of nonsense. Like, we are such an inept city when it comes to sports, covering sports, evaluating talent. It's just a shit show right now. It really is. It's a shame to say that. I hate saying that as somebody who's lived here my entire life. Next question. Do you think this will be John Cena's last run? No. I'll probably give it a couple more years. It all depends on him and what he wants to do. But I don't think we're at the point where John Cena is like really ready to say I'm done and I'm gonna say no to this. So I'll say no for now, Sam. Next question. Who do you think Bayley feuds when she returns? Good question. There could be plenty of options. I think for me, I'm kind of curious of what type of Bayley we get back, because I know that she was getting a little bit of momentum with her heel character before she got injured last year, but maybe it's just me, but wasn't the bad thing for her to come back as a babyface? I don't know. That's just me. So, I mean, she could feud with Bianca Belair. I'm curious of which show she shows up when she does return. You could say she could feud with Ronda Rousey or Charlotte Flair or stuff like that. We'll see. I'm not really sure yet, but if it was up to me, I would have Bayley come back as a good guy. But that's just my opinion. Do you think the White Sox should stick with Tony La Russa? No. Nope. Thank you, Sam, for the questions this week, my brother. I appreciate you as always. All right, let's go to the next set of questions here. Our good friend Mike at Main Event Swerve, he says, with John Cena's 20th anniversary, what is your favorite Cena moment? Oh, man, that's a good one. I think for me, for what I saw personally outside of the Punk and Cena match at Money in the Bank, for me, it was seeing John Cena first interaction with The Rock at the Allstate Arena before WrestleMania 27. And when John Cena gave Rock the AA for the first time, I thought that was pretty cool. I think for me, that's probably my personal favorite moment of seeing John Cena's career. And I'm very lucky to say that I was one of the few that got to see his debut. I went to that SmackDown in 2002, and it's pretty cool. You know, I look at the Rosemont Horizon. I think of who really represents what that building was, and it really comes down to three people. Well, maybe four now after Cody Rhodes' performance at Hell in a Cell. But honestly, if you look at the history of the Rosemont Horizon, the face of that building, it really ties down to Stone Cold Steve Austin, obviously for his infamous double turn at WrestleMania 13, and he even said himself that's his favorite building. John Cena or CM Punk. those are the three people that when I think of what represents that building and like who really represents that, I think it's those guys. There's other funny ones that I remember, like him making fun of Vicky Guerrero, and I think that was the show in Laredo, Texas too. They were like just booing her out of the building and stuff. I thought that was great. Him blowing off Michael Tarver to sign autographs for the tag team title match. I thought that was fantastic. I enjoyed the matches and the feud that he had with AJ Styles, Randy Orton, of course. I think his match with Triple H at WrestleMania 22 is very underrated. I've come around to John Cena, and I put it on Twitter this week. Like I'll admit I was not a Cena guy, but I wasn't like one of those crazy lunatics like Bruce Blitz that just like pop a blood vessel over everything John Cena did. But I was rocking the Cena Sucks shirt. As I put it on Twitter, I went to this Elimination Chamber show in 2012 at the old Bradley Center in Milwaukee, and this kid came up to me. I was wearing the Cena Sucks shirt, right? This is really before that Rock and Cena first match in Miami for WrestleMania 28. And a kid comes up to me. He's like, John Cena doesn't suck, you suck. And I was thinking about it at the time. I'm 17 years old, right? And this kid comes up to me and just, this tells me that I suck and all this stuff. Me and my Uncle Jeremy, who I went to the show with, just had a good laugh out of that. And it brought things into perspective, it really did. I really did. It was that night where I started to change my tune on John Cena and stuff like that. So, yeah. Going back to missed opportunities, the question that Chris asked earlier, I really think a missed opportunity was a one-on-one John Cena and Undertaker WrestleMania match in Undertaker's prime. I know I got to see the whole thing in New Orleans, and I wish that was longer, and it was cool to see that for what it was. I'm not going to complain about that. But to not have a one-on-one John Cena Undertaker full-length match in WrestleMania, I think it's a missed opportunity, in my opinion. But yes, good question, Mike. I like that. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much trouble are the White Sox in this season? Is it a slump or seismic with Lynn, or Semitic with Lynn and others arguing? We've had a really bad run of injuries. I'll say that. I know the team's, I think, like a game or two under 500, but I think, honestly, I don't know if I'll say they're in trouble, only due to the fact of the division that they're in. So, yeah, as frustrating as this first half of the season has been for the team, I'd say for myself, at least, that don't be surprised if they get hot during the second half of the season. Eloy hasn't came back yet. Lance Lynn hasn't came back yet. We have people shuffling in and out of the IL list, and it's been frustrating to watch, to be honest with you. It really is. I can't tell you in this pinpoint one particular thing that says, okay, that right there is why the White Sox are struggling. I can't do it. This is an interesting one. What are a few deal breakers with someone you have only been dating a few times? Oh, man. The deal breaker thing for me is really not a concept that I subscribe to, because I have maybe just a flaw of mine, but I have such a high level of self-awareness, and my BS meter is like at extraneous levels. Like I could pinpoint when somebody's bullshitting me, and those detectors. I have a really good BS detector machine within my brain threshold. And for me, I'm not in particular about deal breakers because when I'm going into a date with somebody, I'm not looking for something to be like, oh, that right there is. I think for me, with having my self-awareness, those bad traits just permeate from that other person that I'm dealing with. And I haven't talked about this a lot, but I've been trying to get back on the dating scene for the last year and a half or so, and just like healing and moving on for the whole thing that I was dealing with in Florida and stuff like that. Moving on from that and just falling out and doing that thing. So it's been a slow process, but I have gone on dates. I think I've gone on like 6 or 7 dates in the last year or so. And it's not really a deal breaker for me. It's just, this is going to be rough to say, but it's like, I kind of feel bad for the future of men. I really do. And this is not a good time to discuss about dating in 2022 because honestly, nobody knows what the hell they want. They can't have genuine conversations or dialogue or build a connection with somebody without other extraneous circumstances to attach onto the shit. People bring in baggage when they say they don't have any baggage. It's just such a cesspool of what people don't know what they want. They can't acknowledge what's in front of them of what they really want. People, we all hear things about the women and their crazy expectations for themselves and what they look for in a guy and their expectations and standards. And it's funny, a girl with no self-awareness has all these expectations and standards for the man she wants to be with. I find that to be pretty funny. How the fuck is an airhead gonna figure out what a high value man looks or is? Tell me that. Tell me how an airhead, a girl that's trying to get in a relationship with a guy that's already married, is gonna tell me about how I go about relationships or what my value is as a man. You know what I mean? It's like it's so ridiculous. It really is. Maybe one day I'll do a full-length episode on my real thoughts and relationships and stuff like that. Maybe we'll do that down the road, but I don't know. You don't want to get me started on that, Mike. Let's take another swig of water here. All right. Also, is it crazy to think Jay Cutler is the best Bears QB of all time? 1 playoff win and 3 winning seasons. I don't know, man. It's hard to say what's a good quarterback in this for this team. I guess if Jay Cutler is the best quarterback that we ever had, then the bar is ultra low. And that's what it is. That's the best way I can answer that question, brother. I'm not trying to pass it off or whatever, but honestly, say Jay Cutler is the best QB that we ever had, it's not really something to write home about. That's like saying Tony Khan is the best booker in the 2010s and 2020s. Who are we fooling? So, here's the last question from Mike. He says, what 2 promotions would you rather see battle that forbidden door? That's a good question. I would really like to see I would rather have Impact and New Japan have a joint venture show, or maybe NWA and MLW do something together. I think that'd be pretty cool. Or I see anything outside of AEW, I would add to that equation, to be honest with you, because I'm going to answer that question later on in the podcast. Just wait for the segment, all right, guys? So for me, if I had to see 200 promotions, rather see Battle at Forbidden Door, it'd probably be Impact and New Japan against each other, or MLW against NWA. Next question comes from the good brother Nate the Great at Psycho Nagiri. Here's an interesting one. Am I the only one that thinks having three juniors in Bullet Club is weird? No, you're not. But it's also weird that we have 4 subgroups of Bullet Club, and before you know it, Kenny Olivier's coming back, so we're probably going to have a 4th or 5th subgroup. So it's hard to keep up with. I'll say that, Nate. It's not a bad question, and it's not a bad take either. You don't need Ace Austin, Ishimori, and El Phantasmo in there. But Phantasmo looks like he's transitioning into the heavyweight division, so maybe it's a consolation prize. I don't know. But I understand what you're saying. I don't know if Chris or I have asked you this yet, but who do you think John Cena faces at SummerSlam? Great question. I think right now it looks like it'll probably be Austin Theory, and I don't personally have an issue with that. If that's the match that they want to do, I think that's cool. Originally, before all this started, I thought it would be a good idea to have John Cena versus Edge at SummerSlam, because I think that would have been really cool. Doesn't look like that's going to happen, but I do think probably John Cena and Austin Theory will probably be the one that'll be going down there in Nashville. So that's a good question. Second to last question here, he says, do transcripts ever stress you out? I wouldn't say they stress me out. It's a lot of work and a lot of mental strain that I have to put into those articles, because there's a lot of like tunnel vision that I go through while typing those out. And I never get like stressed out or pissed while making a transcript. But there is a wind down period that I had to go through after I'm done with the article. And it doesn't have to be too long, but for me, like once I'm done with a transcript, and it's not just a transcript, I'm also putting it on my website. I'm, sharing it on social media, that process as well. And I think for me, I don't get stressed out. Is there times where I can get frustrated here and there for transfers of shows that I don't think are good, or if there's an episode of something of a show that I don't get paid for example, like I said last week, I don't get paid for articles for Raw, SmackDown, Dynamite, and NXT. Those are big shows, and I'd probably be getting a lot more money, and it'd be better. It would be in a better financial situation right now if I was getting paid for those shows weekly. Just being upfront, I would. But it wears on you. But I don't get stressed out where I'm lashing out on people or anything like that. I don't get that upset over it. It's a fun challenge, trust me. And I've been doing this for a long time, so I kind of know the deal and what goes into making a proper transcript, at least for wrestling is concerned. And I like the challenge. It's just some transcripts could like really drain me out more than stress me out. And depending on the week or part of the year, there's like so much shows that a burnout factor could come in. So like I don't ever get visibly or internally upset about making the transcripts. There's like a little slight frustration on my end that I'm not getting paid for those shows, like I mentioned earlier. But for me, I have fun. I like the challenge of making these transcripts, and I want them to stand out, and I want them to be good. So I hope you guys like it. I put a lot of heart and a lot of time and a lot of thought into the transcripts, and I just hope it resonates with you guys. I really do. Here's the last question for the Q&A this week. Do you think there's someone out there for everyone? If you asked me this 3 years ago, I would say yeah. Because I thought I had that. Not I thought, I knew. I acknowledged that of like going down there and having that experience and knowing at that moment that this girl was the one for me. I knew it. I didn't have to convince myself. I didn't have to overthink it. I just knew it was there. And then what happened. And I don't want to paint a bad picture or make it doom and gloom, you know. I want people to understand that stuff like this happens, and it can make you become callous, it can make you bitter and jaded, but I'm certainly not that type of person. And for me, I would never want to say that there's always someone out there for somebody because it didn't work out for me when I recognized that person was that for me, you know? I hope you understand what I'm trying to get at here. I wouldn't want that to be the reality for somebody else. I do believe in fate. I do believe that somebody's meant for you. But there's another reality that comes with that, and that is that when it comes to those type of situations, guys, a lot of that stuff is out of your control. And especially when I was talking about earlier about today's female nature and dating and stuff like that, it's just like, is it really worth you, damaging your heart, shattering your own pride? Is it worth it? I don't know. Is it worth it? You got to ask yourself that question, because just at the single moment you think that you have that person for you, you think you found the one, just like that, it's gone. And at some point, you may not even think you did anything wrong, too. And that's the thing. There's all these tropes and things you have to do to make a relationship work and stuff like that. And over the years, I just found a lot of that to be a bunch of bullshit. We're having a real conversation here. Did that, put effort in, spent money to go meet a person's family just to get the cold no. Just oh, no, is it this thing and that thing and blah, 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 blah. But hey, we can still be friends. All of that stuff was just not worth it. Once you hear that, oh, we can still be friends, at that time you're being used. And that's not a fun feeling. I don't wish that on anybody. That shit hurts. It really, really does. Because that's a cop-out. Especially when the dynamics are there, but the person you have that interest in, that person is the one for you, just won't acknowledge that for themselves. Hey, but there's nothing you can do about it, right? You gotta learn, you gotta move on, you gotta adapt, you got to, as they say, fall out and heal. And I've done that. I've gone through a lot of hurt and a lot of frustration and trying to regather my internal pride and dignity and self-confidence ever since all this stuff went down 3 years ago. And I feel like I'm in a much, much better and peaceful part in my soul, in my heart, in everything spiritually than I was this time 3 years ago. And I can say that with a smile on my face. Honestly, I can really say that with a smile on my face. I'm healed. I falled out. I healed for that situation. And I'm not looking back. I'm not looking back because there's nothing there anymore. And it's nothing that I'm chasing or wanting to invest in again. It's not worth it. It really isn't. I feel bad for the guys that got that. I'm not the only one. I always feel bad for anybody that I know that goes through like really deep heartbreaks or divorces and stuff like that. I've seen a lot of bad shit in my life. I've heard about a lot of bad things, and I never wish a broken heart on anybody, male or female, because stuff's real. You know, you're giving a piece of yourself eternally to somebody. And whether that's not either reciprocated or you get the rejection or whatever the situation is or the case is, that shit fucks with you. And don't sit there and tell me that it doesn't, because it does. It messes with your head. It makes you make decisions. It makes you, like, you let yourself go and you're not cognizant of other things that are going on, and it's just really something that you have to fight within, because I don't wish that type of sharp internal pain on anybody, because that shit sucks. It does. It'll test you. There'll be days where you wake up where you feel like you don't want to move forward. You go to sleep and you start crying. You listen to music, you start crying. And as I looked back as I gone through my healing process, I realized that I took the biggest emotional risk of my life. And guess what? For me, it was worth it, because I found myself within having my heart fractured. And I can say that right now here on June 16th, 2022 at 11 a.m. here in Chicago, with a fucking smile on my face, that I overcame that and that I can overcome anything. I found myself, and I'm at the point in my life right now where I don't feel like I had to impress, have my emotions dictated, or anything dictated by any other person's opinions besides myself or the man upstairs. And I'm happy. I'm healed. I moved on. And what happened 3 years ago, for better or worse, made me where I am right now. And I'm happy. I can look at myself in the mirror today and say that I'm in a better place spiritually and within my heart. And that's all I can say to that. So I do believe there is somebody that's out there for somebody. I just wish it doesn't run to the time or situation where that person that is for you is not acknowledging that, or fooling around behind your back, or doing something shady, because I don't think anybody deserves that. So, thank you for the question, Nate, Chris, Sam, Nate, and Mike, for some awesome questions this week for the Good Brothers Q&A session. And it was a good one. I really appreciate it, guys. So when we come back, we'll get into what happened this week in WWE right here on Hoots Podcast. Yes, sir. All right, boys and girls, welcome back to the Hoots Podcast. It's time to talk about what happened this week in the world of WWE. Let's start it off with Friday Night SmackDown this past Friday night. SmackDown took place in lovely Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Shout out to Caleb Braxton. Pretty good waterfall, by the way. Anyways, the show started off with Drew McIntyre and Sheamus in a Money in the Bank qualifying match. I thought this was a pretty good match. Of course, McIntyre and Sheamus get ripping up in the ring. Anytime I see that match on my TV, whether it has stakes to it or not, have them fight forever. I don't really care. These guys weren't beating the shit out of each other as per ritual with these guys in their matches. It ended up being a double disqualification because they started brawling over the goddamn arena. And later on the show, McIntyre and Sheamus trying to save their case to Adam Pearce as to why they should be added to the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. Who knows if we get a rematch between those two tomorrow as we record this on a Thursday. But how can you go wrong with a McIntyre and Sheamus match? That was dope. Saw the news for Cody Rhodes. Looks like he'll be out for 9 months. We'll have to see how that goes. I would like to say probably around December, January. Maybe he'll come back. But anyways, hope Cody has a speedy recovery, and he's definitely going to be missed. So, thoughts with you, American Nightmare. We had Lacey Evans make her in-ring return on SmackDown this past Friday night in a Money in the Bank qualifying match against Xia Li. She won with the women's right. Here's her promo beforehand with Caleb Braxton.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome my guest at this time, SmackDown's newest superstar, Lacey Evans. Now, Lacey, we've all heard your heart-wrenching story, a chaotic childhood full of fear and abuse, yet somehow you managed to overcome all of it. So what would winning the Money in the Bank ladder match mean to you?
Kayla, the Money in the Bank contract changes lives. If I win at Money in the Bank, I get to challenge any champion, anytime, any place. I mean, that's incredible. Me. This is my opportunity. You know, Xia Li looks at me like a victim. I look at Xia Li like another person that is telling me I can't do something. You know, we all have choices in our life. We could sit and wallow in our self-pity, sad at the challenges life continues to throw at us, or we could wake up, work, and win. And since I'm in front of you and my music's about to hit, I think we both know what choice I made. I may not be better than Xia Li, but she damn sure ain't better than Lacey Evans.
Some good stuff there. Glad to see Lacey back on my screen. Curious to see how things go for her coming up at Money in the Bank. Speaking of Money in the Bank, Ronda Rousey will be putting her SmackDown Women's Championship on the line against Natalya. We had a championship contenders match on SmackDown this past Friday night with Ronda Rousey taking on Shotzi Blackheart. I gotta say this, give your thoughts on Ronda Rousey, all you want about her promos and blah, 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 but do you see how given she is to the other performers on SmackDown when she's had these singles matches recently? I think back to the match she had with Raquel Rodriguez a few weeks ago, which was awesome. And I thought this match was pretty good, too. I thought this was a good outing for Shotzi, who carried herself very well. What do you guys hear me say every single week on the podcast? You got to maximize your TV time. And she did that to me. I think the most out of everybody this week that I saw on television, at least for WWE is concerned. She was fantastic. Ronda Rousey did win with the armbar. Natalya attacked Rousey from behind after the match and applied the sharpshooter. So that match will be taking place for sure at Money in the Bank. We have a brand new Intercontinental Champion as the Ring General Gunther. Absolutely demolished Ricochet. I thought it was a good match. A lot of people thought this was going to be a squash match, but the right choice was made here. The Ring General is just that damn good. And I keep saying that, man. Every time Walter hits you with a chop, it's like trying to avoid to pay rent. It's like you feel like you're in a good mood, right? Like it's been a good month, I'm making some good money. And then before you know, oh, here comes rent. Here comes your car bill. Here comes your phone bill. Boom! Right in. Oh, no, not again. There's not enough money you can pay me to take a chop from Walter. My guy Sam Pio will be listening to this, as Cap would say, absolutely #no shot of me ever taking a chop from Walter. No shot. I say every week on the Hoots podcast that we really enjoy applying context and substance to our conversations, and that's why I shared the audio clips here for you guys if you haven't missed it, if you haven't heard it for yourself. Listen to this conversation between Sami Zayn and Paul Heyman ahead of Sami Zayn's match with Riddle before that main event on SmackDown this past Friday. Listen to this.
I can't believe this is happening.
Paul, you realize this is the greatest opportunity of your career. If you beat Riddle tonight, you give me the ammunition to go to the tribal chief and say, Sami Zayn belongs in the bloodline. But if you lose to Riddle tonight, Sami, This is the greatest opportunity.
Simple and to the point right there. Sami Zayn has tried to stooge and climb his way into the bloodline for months now, and Matt Riddle and Sami Zayn had a barn burner. We heard the thing there. If Riddle beats Sami Zayn, you get a shot at the Tribal Chief, which you will, as Matt Riddle did defeat Sami Zayn in the barn burner on SmackDown. Riddle will be taking on Roman Reigns for the Undisputed Universal Championship on SmackDown tomorrow night, which should be a phenomenal match. Should be a lot of fun. It's always good to see the Tribal Chief back on the screen. And hopefully we get to hear a promo from the Tribal Chief beforehand. And, our Tribal Chief, the head of the table, the needle mover, whatever you want to call him, he is that and then some. So, Riddle will acknowledge the Tribal Chief tomorrow on SmackDown. But honestly, I thought SmackDown was good. And I've been more critical on SmackDown since the draft happened, and I try to play fair here with everybody as far as all the shows we talk about. I tell you what I like and I don't like. But, for me, I thought SmackDown was a pretty solid show this past Friday night, so I give credit where credit's due. Let's get into Monday Night Raw. Let's start off with this little bit of exchange here with Kevin Patrick and Seth Rollins, and Seth Rollins explains why he attacked Cody Rhodes following their crazy Hell in a Cell match in Chicago.
Seth freaking Rollins, thank you for the time. Let's start with addressing what transpired last week between you and Cody Rhodes. Sorry. Seth, given your reaction, is it safe for me to assume then that you have no remorse for your actions?
Remorse? Wait. Okay, look, I know this is going to be difficult for you to understand, but try to follow along, okay? Last week, what I said to Cody Rhodes in that ring, I meant. It was real, it was genuine, honest, and from the heart. But Cody Rhodes is a virus. He's a virus, and he's been plaguing WWE since WrestleMania. And sometimes in life, you have to make hard decisions. You have to make unpopular decisions. And when nobody's on your side, you have to take matters in your own hands. Cody Rhodes was becoming not just a danger to WWE, but a danger to himself. He wanted to compete in the Money in the Bank ladder match with a torn pec. No. You see, in my WWE, it's adapt or perish. Has been and always will be. And so to answer your question, no remorse. No remorse, no. I take pride in what I was able to accomplish last week. I take pride in it. The American Nightmare is over. Monday Night Rollins is back. Better than ever.
So what is next then for Seth freaking Rollins?
Ooh, what is next? What is next? That's the question on the tip of everybody's tongue, isn't it? Well, one of my finest moments just so happens to be the greatest Money in the Bank cash-in of all time. And I was thinking, why not try to top it?
I'm sure you're aware, Seth, to qualify for that Money in the Bank ladder match, you must defeat AJ Styles later tonight.
Indeed I do. The phenomenal AJ Styles, truly one of the greatest to ever lace him up. I expect a hell of a fight later tonight, but let's be honest, AJ's not on my level, and he lacks a certain killer instinct that I have. If AJ wants to stand in my way, on my path to the Money in the Bank contract, well, I'm not just going to have to beat him. I might have to do to him exactly what I did to Cody Rhodes. Ooh, yeah.
for Cody.
Good stuff there. Good stuff there. Seth Rollins and AJ had a fantastic match on Raw this past Monday. Raw was in Wichita, Kansas this past Monday night. Another good show. We had a preview of the match tomorrow as Paul Heyman and Riddle were on Biz TV like that. It was interesting here. Paul Heyman said right here, Mr. Riddle, you have a lot of momentum going your way, all in the name of your fallen bro, Randy Orton. And that momentum will get stopped dead in its tracks this Friday night by your tribal chief, Roman Reigns. Because I'll admit, and you've heard me say that on commentary, sir, I do respect you. But Riddle, you can't beat Roman Reigns. As a matter of fact, I don't even think you can beat your opponent tonight. Not after what I have to tell you. Because on behalf of your tribal chief, Roman Reigns, I arranged for a stipulation with management if you beat Roman Reigns this Friday live on SmackDown. Sure, you'll be the new undisputed Universal WWE Heavyweight Champion. And when you lose to Roman Reigns, and sir, you will lose to Roman Reigns, as long as Roman Reigns is the undisputed champion, you'll never get another opportunity at the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. Jimmy Uso defeated Montez Ford. Pretty solid match. They got some solid ties to it. Jimmy Uso won that one. I played a clip there from Seth Rollins and AJ Styles. Curious to see what's going to go down here with Becky and Asuka. They've been at each other's throat for the last 2 weeks. They'll be fighting each other in a women's Money in the Bank qualifying match next week on Monday Night Raw. Speaking of qualifying matches, Alexa Bliss and Liv Morgan, the tag team of Waterfalls, they'll be entering the qualifying matches as they defeated Piper Niven and Nikki Cross on Raw. Good stuff there. Liv Morgan was on full gear with her waterfall this week. Kevin Owens in a match against Ezekiel. Ezekiel won via countout due to Kevin Owens being frustrated at the commentary team. Hard not to be frustrated with the commentary team. I thought that was pretty funny. Ezekiel announced that he's bringing his older brother Elias to Monday Night Raw on Monday. My God, that's going to be hilarious. I'm curious to see how that goes. Other stuff that stood out to me, the MVP stuff is whatever, I guess. It looks like Omos will be in the Money in the Bank match, which is okay, I guess. I don't see him winning it, but it's alright. I thought the match with Riddle and Tommaso Ciampa was pretty good, despite it being a short match. I thought it was pretty good. And going back to, again, maximizing your TV time. It was announced last week as Rhea Ripley won a Fatal 4-Way match to become the next #1 contender to Bianca Belair's Raw's Women's Championship. Those two will be fighting each other at Money in the Bank. Here is what Rhea Ripley had to say to Bianca on Raw.
Maybe if you stop caring about the WWE Universe, you'd actually stand a chance of retaining the Raw Women's Championship at Money in the Bank. You call yourself the EST. But it just sounds like you're trying to convince yourself of that. I don't tell people I'm intimidating. I just am. Last week, in a Fatal 4-Way match, I had my teeth knocked loose. And you know what? I loved it. In that match, I took what I wanted. Now, I'm first in line for the Raw Women's Championship. Bianca, at Money in the Bank, the greatest thing you will be is your downfall. And I eradicate you from existence and walk the walk of a 2-time Raw Women's Champion.
It's good stuff there, man. Those girls are going to rip it up at Money in the Bank. I think that's going to be pretty cool. Another solid match here on Raw was Chad Gable and Mustafa Ali. I'll admit it was pretty funny to see Ali doing the sheesh to Gable. I thought that was pretty funny. But Gable did win that match thanks to interference from Otis, and they rolled through German suplex. Hopefully they wrap things up with this stuff with Veer and Rey Mysterio, because that ain't it for me. I really don't have much to comment about the polls now with Lashley and Theory. probably say those guys might fight each other for the U.S. title at Money in the Bank, which probably is not a bad thing. Honestly, wouldn't be surprised if Lashley beats Theory for the United States title. I mean, yeah, it'd probably be cool to have the U.S. title on the line if Theory is fighting John Cena at SummerSlam, but I don't think that match really needs a title to be attached to it. So I'm curious to see how that plays out. Theory did attack Lashley with baby oil after they were doing their pose downs and stuff like that. I thought Raw was decent this week. I'm going to give the nod to SmackDown as far as best overall show. So shout out to the Blue Rant this week. And really quick, before we get into our main event segment here, I do want to say, let's get a little preview for NXT UK today. Today we'll get to hear from Trent Seven following his little weird act towards Tyler Bate after losing the NXT UK tag team titles. That is going to happen today on NXT UK. Just give me 1 second here. We have Tiger Turan taking on Josh Cherry. We got Myla Grace taking on Lash Legend. We also have an interesting tag match here. It's Gallus member Wolfgang and Damon Kemp taking on Noam Dar and Shaw Samuels. That should be a damn good match. That's going to be a good match. Wolfgang and Damon Kemp against Noam Dar and Shaw Samuels. That should be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to that. So, all in all, another solid week in WWE content-wise, and that's my thoughts on that. When we come back, I'm going to give you a little preview for what's going to happen this weekend for Slammiversary, and get a little more to that before we get to what the hell is wrong with AEW, but we'll be right back right here on the Hoots Podcast. All right, one more thing to plug really quick before we head out for into our main event segment of the show this week. I gotta tell you what's gonna happen this Sunday on Fight TV. It's the 20th anniversary of Impact Wrestling. It's Slammiversary 2022 from the Asylum, the old Nashville Fairgrounds, right where it all started. Pay-per-view's coming up on Sunday. There's 2 matches on the pre-show as Rich Swann takes on Brian Myers for the Impact Digital Media Championship. They're bringing back the Reverse Battle Royal. I can't believe it. Other matches on the card as well. We have the Influences members of Madison Rain and Tania Dashwood taking on Rosemary and Taya Valkyrie, the beautiful Taya Valkyrie, may I add, for the Knockouts Tag Team titles. Sami Callihan against Moose in the Monsters Ball match. We have, let's see. We have here the 10-man tag I mentioned earlier of Honor No More and Impact Originals. We need to figure out who the final 2 participants will be in that match. They'll probably show up at the pay-per-view. We got the Briscoes putting their Impact World Tag Team titles on the line against the Goof Brothers. We have a Queen of the Mountain match for the Knockouts World Championship with Mickie James being the special guest enforcer. It's Tasha Steelz against Chelsea Green, Deonna Purrazzo, Jordan Grace, and Mia Yim. Also, we have an Ultimate X match for the Impact X Division Champion. We have the returning Ace Austin taking on Kenny King, Mike Bailey, Trey Miguel, Jack Evans, and Alex Zane. So that should be a barn burner. And then the main event of that show is going to be Josh Alexander and Eric Young for the Impact World Championship. All in all, guys, I think this is a really solid card from top to bottom for Impact, and this should be a very good pay-per-view. Celebrating 20 years of Impact Wrestling. It should be a good time, and looking forward to it. Real quick, I want to mention some stuff from NWA 74. My brain threshold is kind of messing with me right now because there's so much shows and pay-per-views going on this month. It's kind of hard to catch up, you know. But NWA Always Ready took place this past Saturday night in Knoxville, and I thought it was a pretty solid show when I got to catch it. I didn't cover the show live, but I thought it was pretty cool. We had a lot of title changes on that show. You know, we had Doug Williams and Harry Smith, the Commonwealth Connection, defeated La Rebellion. They're the new NWA World Tag Team Champions. I thought the match with Camille and Kylan King was fantastic for the NWA World Women's Championship. Fantastic commentary by Joe Galli, Bully Ray, and Tim Storm. I thought that was great. What other stuff on the show? Homicide had a couple good matches on that show as well. Trying to see anything else that's off the top of my head. Oh yeah, of course. Trevor Murdoch is your brand new NWA World Heavyweight Champion. Mick Cardona had to relinquish his title due to his recent bicep surgery, and they had a fatal four-way with Nick Aldis, Trevor Murdoch, Tom Latimer, and Samuel Shaw, formerly known as Dexter Lumis. I thought that was a pretty good match of the fatal four-way. So, also, shout out to Pretty Empowered, Kenzie Page, and Ella Envy. They are the new NWA World Women's Tag Team Champions, beating the Hex. I was not expecting that, so that was pretty cool. So, yeah, pretty eventful and newsworthy show coming out of Always Ready. And here to see where these go, because they said their next pay-per-view will be NWA 74 in St. Louis. So, looks like that should be a lot of fun to check out as we get closer to that show. So, good stuff there. And then really quick, I know you guys are probably expecting me to talk a lot about Dominion and New Japan and G1 and stuff like that. I can't really do it on this particular episode because coming up tomorrow, as you listen to this, I'm actually discussing all that in a special edition version of the Heat Pod with my good brother, referee Tony S. So we recorded this on Tuesday, I believe. And if you want to hear all my thoughts on what's going on with New Japan right now as we get closer to the G1, make sure to check out that episode with Tony, and I think you guys will really appreciate it. It's very insightful, too. So go check that out. But that's pretty much it. I wanted to make sure that we spray to all fields, not just make it just a WWE and AEW show like everybody else does. But yeah, that's pretty much what's going on right now around outside the AEW WWE bubble, and that's pretty much it. But on that note, it's time to give the people what they want, what they need. Celebrating 2 years of the best segment in professional wrestling, otherwise known as What the Hell is Wrong with AEW? No, we're going to start off this bad boy in a 3, 2, 1.
Beat your meat, 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 beat your meat.
It's time for What the Hell is Wrong with AEW?
All right, ladies and germs. Let's do it. Let's get into it. It's our 2-year anniversary of What the Hell is Wrong with AEW, which started June 18th of 2020. A concept that myself and Brother Carter came up with. Brother Carter is responsible for the initial tune and jingle that you hear on What the Hell is Wrong with AEW, but a co-venture concept that I'm immensely proud of when it comes to this particular podcast, because we have something that's creative, something off the cuff, and something more importantly real that you're not getting from other wrestling podcasts, and a concept in a segment of, talking about something that we do enjoy about AEW, and we wanted to do a little something that just doing a regular, this is what happened this week in AEW. We wanted to do a little something different. We wanted to expand the conversation and kind of open your eyes to a lot of the minutia and hyperbole that gets thrust upon wrestling Twitter and these talk shows about how amazing AEW is and stuff like that. And with it, we wanted to add a comedic twist to it. and that we would address the stuff that we did like about AEW, and that myself and Brett Carter do want AEW to succeed, but we're not going to sit here and keep our mouth shut for the stupid shit that we see on the show. And I'm glad to say, and I'm very honored to say, that this segment is definitely one of the best, if not the best thing that's been a staple of this particular show. Outside of the stuff that I've done with Adam Daly, that stuff will not be duplicated or outdone. But this segment, I'm very proud of it. And I wanted to play the initial clip of when we first started doing this segment for you guys to honor our 2-year anniversary. So give a shout out not only to myself, but also to Brother Carter for 2 years of What the Hell is Wrong with AEW. I hope this one will not disappoint you. So let's play the initial clip.
I didn't mind the match, actually.
I'm saving my thoughts for that match in this segment. Let's do it.
But Josh, it is now time for us to debut a new segment here. And because this segment is going to be a recurring segment, I'd like to play you the new theme song. So now, here we go. It's time for What the Hell is Wrong with AEW. Oh my god! I'm crying laughing right now.
Brother Carter, you've come up with some really good ideas over years. I think this year match.
This might be top of the list. When I was thinking about it, and I was like, okay, I need to find a theme song. I found this just comedic, this little clown song. Oh, it's great. But Josh.
Oh, man. Good times. All right. This is what I've been waiting for all week. And I'm sure this is what you guys have been waiting for this whole episode, okay? So, you heard for weeks now that I've been lamenting and just dreading this card for the Forbidden Door, the Loose Door, the Glad-Handing Door, all this stuff you want to call this event coming up on June 26th at the United Center. I was having a deep conversation about this with Brother Carter yesterday after Dynamite was over, and I'm looking back at it. If you look at the Forbidden Door in the concept of it, Tony Khan calls himself the Forbidden Door. Let me ask you this question, and you can send your responses to Josh Lopez Media if you want. Ask yourself this question: what about AEW's door is forbidden? Because to me, the only thing forbidden about AEW's door is the company's benefiting from walking into that door. So, I got the card here. This show, again, remind you, this show is at the United Center. And as I look at this card, as somebody who's from Chicago, this card is better suited for the now defunct Odeum in Villa Park, the Frontier Fieldhouse in Rockford, and the UIC Pavilion. This card does not necessitate the house that Michael Jordan built. So let me go over this card for you, okay? We have the 4-way match for the AEW All-Atlantic Championship match. Right now, we currently have Pac, Miro, the winner of Pentagon and Malachi Black, and the winners of the qualifiers from the New Japan side, which we'll say will be Tomohiro Ishii for this practicing. So we got that. After that, we just announced that Thunder Rosa will now we're having AEW specific matches on this card now. Thunder Rosa will be putting her women's championship on the line against Toni Storm. Babyface versus Babyface. How about this one? Does this one wet your beak? We have Minoru Suzuki, Chris Jericho, and Sammy Guevara against Eddie Kingston, Wheeler Useless, and Shota Umino. Let me repeat that again. Minoru Suzuki, Chris Jericho, and Sammy Guevara are having a trios match with Eddie Kingston and Shota Umino, not only because of the fact that Eddie Kingston is brawling with Jericho and they have their feud with each other, but we have to tie in Umino because Jericho attacked his dad on a New Japan show that happened 2-3 years ago. After that, how about this one? Will Ospreay. You want to know what the hell is wrong with AEW? Let's start off with this. Will Ospreay against Orange fucking Cassidy. You're having what could be one of the top 5 wrestlers throughout the entire industry lower himself to put his IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship on the line against a fucking twat who puts his hands on his pockets and his stupid ass denim jacket. Tell me again, how is this card not so fucking self-serving towards AEW's direction? Like, please explain that to me. Tell me, anybody that's listening or watching this, tell me how New Japan is benefiting from this pay-per-view. And tell me, why is this card worth buying a pay-per-view for, let alone going to the United Center to watch this shit? Tell me. Give me one example of why I should give 2/5 of a fuck about this pay-per-view. Mind you, the main event, Jon Moxley against Hiroshi Tanahashi for the AEW Interim World Championship. Stat Boy Tony, Mr. Big Chest, likes to open his mouth. Went on Tony time where he gets no hard questions and Tommy Dreamer kisses his ass for the entire segment. Basically admitted on the show that he openly tried to prevent having Jon Moxley and Hiroshi Tanahashi unless AEW was involved. Of course, I'm not stupid. Politics get involved with wrestling. But you have Mr. Marketing Mark who lets Dave Meltzer make all his decisions on his creative and how to handle situations and et cetera, et cetera. Mr. Tokyo Dome, you're telling me that Tony Khan wanted to get in the way of having something that would benefit Meltzer and the Observer in New Japan? He just openly said, every time they try to have Jon Moxley Tanahashi, I squashed it. So basically, you're saying that Kenta is mid-card, everybody Jon Moxley's fight from New Japan is mid-card. Okay, it was okay for Jon Moxley to compete in the G1 when he first showed up in AEW, but no, he can't fight Hiroshi Tanahashi unless this fucking self-entitled prick Mark has the right to say it. By the way, speaking of Tony Khan and his ego that knows no bounds, who the fuck told you that you are the barometer or dictator of what's justified as far as chants are concerned? Do you guys see this shit as I do every week on Twitter? Justified. This is awesome chants. Justified. Fight forever chants. Who the fuck made you the judge, executioner, and everything? Who made you the judge, jury, executioner of what's justified or not? You? You're the forbidden door? You're the judge, jury, and executioner of everything that's right and wrong in professional wrestling? You're going to sit here and tell everybody in a straight face that, you know business better than Ted Turner, and that Eric Bischoff doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about and all this shit? Who the fuck do you think you are? Honestly. And for all you freaking simpletons that just drink his little Kool-Aid because AEW's TV 14 and it's not WWE run. Oh, Tony does nothing wrong. Oh, such a great booker. They do things, they stretch out their storylines. It's great booking and continuity and blah, blah, blah. I like to remind of all of you that you're falling for a fucking Okie Doke. Why I made this episode the Okie Doke? Look at this fucking card for the Forbidden Door. Tell me how New Japan is benefiting from this shit. Practically, most of their guys are going to lose the matches that are on the card already. You already have one specific AEW match on the card. Now, I get it. Maybe they didn't want a flag from social media that they didn't have a women's match on the card, so I can understand why they put Thunder Rosa and Toni Storm on there. That's fine. It'll be a good match. Doesn't change the fact that this card is nothing more than a prop-up event for AEW. That's all it is. Hey, let me dangle my carrot of being the Observer Booker of the Year, pal. Let me just have this match that makes me look good, Dave. Hey, Brian, do you like what I'm doing? Can you put me over? Can you put me over? Can you put me over? I'm at my wit's end with this shit. I really am. Go through this card. Dynamite. Chris Jericho against Ortiz. Nobody gives a shit. Out comes WCW Brawl at ringside. We got Santana and Wheeler useless down in the ring. They're brawling all over the place. Out comes Sammy Douchebag Guevara dressed as Fuego del Sol, costing Ortiz the match. And as predictable comes, Sammy Guevara and Ty Conti joined the Jericho Kiss My Ass Society. And oh my god, man. Oh, Wardlow squashing 20 plaintiffs. Nobody gave a fuck. By the way, can you stop making him do promos that make him sound stupid? He's backing off away from UFC fighters. Last week on Dynamite, he goes and says that he'd rather have CM Punk be there as a champion instead of actually going for the opportunity and being in the Battle Royal, just making him look like a jackass and making the interim title look as weak as it could possibly be, and a dumb concept at it in the first place. Let's follow that up. I'll share some positivity and levity. I told you guys earlier that I liked the Christian Cage charge at the end. I thought that was cool. I enjoyed the Will Ospreay and Dax Hardwood match. All that to be wet down by Will Ospreay backing away and having to put his title on the line against Pockets on this show. Of all the matches you could have done on this card of AEW people against Will Ospreay, your number one pick is Orange Cassidy, the vanity project of Tony Khan. Tony Khan is so obsessed with Orange Cassidy. It's insane to me. Are you fucking kidding me? We're going to do a comedy routine with Will Ospreay? We're going to do comedy, right? Then you might as well add Toriano and Mark Sterling to the shit. Hell, bring back fucking Michael knocking the fuck off if we're going to do that. Honestly, bring in Michael Nakazawa if fucking Orange Cassidy is fighting Will Ospreay at the United Center. Are you fucking kidding me? Another solid match of the show was Ethan Page and Miro. No problems there, no complaints there. Last night's Dynamite really tempted me to sell my tickets for Forbidden Door. This is one of my few opportunities to see New Japan Pro Wrestling in Chicago in person. These performances I've been covering for years and years, and get to experience seeing these wrestlers live for the first time in person. For what? A fucking shitty ass, half ass card to appease and satiate Tony Khan's ego? It's really telling when Windy City Riot was a better card than this show coming up on June 26th. It's really something when the G1 Super card at MSG was a better card in this fucking shit. What, we're going to have a fatal 4-way with Okada, White, Adam Cole, and Heyman Page? Oh, great. Let's stack everybody into a 4-way match so nobody's feelings get hurt. Heyman Page will take the L, and then we just move on with our merry way, right? No updates on Bryan Danielson. Second week in a row, a wasted opportunity to capitalize on any type of interesting storylines you have on your fucking show. No MJF, no MJF references, no MJF anything. What are we doing here? I thought Britt Baker and Toni Storm was a sloppy match. Thunder Rosa probably is one of the worst champions that AEW's had since the ascension of the company. Their women's division's in fucking shambles. Then the main event. The Young Bucks against the Jurassic Express. It's amazing to me, for all the spots they did in their match, I don't know why I felt that match was on autopilot. Want to know why? Because you see one Young Bucks match, you've seen every Young Bucks match. I can't tell you the countless times I've seen these two twat teens fight each other. Oh, adding a ladder was really going to change anything? No. Those spots on the floor, making the referee... The Young Bucks are the only team that are possible to make the referees look stupid, even in a ladder match. It amazes me. So, I watched this show last night, and I'm asking myself, like, what's the point of doing this? What's the point of this pay-per-view? Yeah, you got injuries on the sideline. Adam Cole hasn't been able to wrestle. Nobody can find where Karen Danielson's at now, which is interesting. I don't get it, guys, man. I really don't. It's frustrating. It's frustrating. Because I was actually looking forward to this event. And no, I'm not upset and bitter because CM Punk won't be there. Injuries happen. I'm not upset about that. But I've been catching on to this fucking Okie Doke game that Tony Khan's been playing with us for the last 2 months. And tell me how this is any different than the treatment that Impact Wrestling got, especially when they had their all against all odds thing, and you know they had to do the whole simulcast at Daly's place, and then they go to Daly's place. You got a black Titans on screen, and what, maybe 20 people at ringside. Looked like it was a fucking flea market match with Kenny Olivier and Moose. That's what it looked like on pay-per-view. Kenny Olivier and Moose at Daly's place. No screens, no graphics, just half-assed production. And tell me how Impact benefited from that. Tell me how New Japan is benefiting from this show, knowing damn well we had the fucking G1 right around the corner. All this circle jerking, okie doke, and glad heading for this entitled fucking blog boy bitch Tony Khan. This fucking chat board twit. Mentioned stuff that I liked on Dynamite. There was a couple solid matches there. But again, we get to repeating ourselves week in and week out. I keep telling you guys, this Dynamite show goes nowhere. There's no rhyme or reason to it. But that's what you get with dirt sheet vanity projects. And that, my friends, is what the hell's wrong with AEW.
This has been What the Hell is Wrong with AEW.
guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me for this week's edition of the Hoots Podcast. Hope you guys had a wonderful week, and make sure to enjoy Slammiversary this weekend. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram if you like, at Josh Lopez Media. Make sure to subscribe to the Hoots Podcast anywhere you get your podcast from, especially on our YouTube channel. Just type in Hoots Podcast in the search engine. It comes to you free of charge every single Thursday. You can follow Brett Carter if you like at Derek Stalin. Make sure to check out his work at DerekStalin.com. Also, make sure to check out Bookmark ProWrestlingTranscriptions.com. Remember, folks, be the authentic product that is yourself. Remember, nobody dictates the pace of your life but yourself and the man upstairs. I love you guys. Have a wonderful weekend. We'll be back here to preview the Loose Door right here on the Hoots Podcast. We'll talk to you all later. And yes, sir.